Okay. Hello. I'm going to try to talk while I'm drawing, and my phone's not exactly right next to me, so if you can see if you guys can hear me, I'm doing kind of a rambly video, and I'm going to test out this pencil, because I draw a lot of comics now, so I got the no photo pencils, which I'm not super used to, and I have no idea what to draw. Okay. But I wanted to kind of make a YouTube video and kind of talk about what I'm doing. I'm kind of back at work, and I haven't worked for a few months now. I was working on a comic with a writer named Kelly Garrett, who is local, and we were doing a comic proposal that was like a kind of like a moody, broody mystery, supernatural mystery kind of comic, which was super fun. I need to keep working on it, but we've submitted the proposal now, so we're kind of just waiting. And then I was moving, and my kids were starting school. So I wasn't working for a long time, and now my kids are in school, and I've got an office, and so now I kind of have the ability to do more than I could do before. So I wanted to, I don't know, I'll probably upload this to YouTube, because I don't use TikTok, which maybe I'll talk about that in another video, but I have my own personal comic that I want to work on as well. So I want to continue working on the comic that I'm doing with Kelly Garrett, which is called Playlist. It was originally called Playlist at the Edge of the World, and then we shortened it to Playlist, which I can't really post online. Can you guys, the funny thing about me using a no photo pencil is I think it's invisible. The video, you guys are just gonna have to wait until I break out my my ink brush. Okay, I'll try to sketch quick. How about that? Anyway. But I have my own comic that I've been wanting to do. It was sort of a book at first and slowly transformed into a comic, which is a story that the basic idea is that it's about like my experience as a mom, but set sort of my experience, maybe like just talking about how weird it is to be a mom, especially when you don't really like fit into a lot of like parent stereotypes, and kind of navigating like what it means to be a parent. And I do think that like women face a lot of really intense judgment as parents, and I think parenthood is where a lot of like unfair judgment on women kind of happens. But I wanted it to be kind of like a positive story about like self-discovery and like kind of figuring out like yourself as a person when you have children, and just not kind of falling into this thing where like, your kids are basically like your whole thing. Was the basic idea. And so I'm kind of like plotting that out right now. I'm really curious to see if you can see. I don't see it at all on my phone. Okay. I would have to switch to my brush pen quick. Otherwise this video is going to be kind of boring. Okay, let me see if I can just like block this in really fast. And then I'll switch. And that way you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, let's just jump right into this. Otherwise this video is just going to be a big white rectangle. Okay. So I've got my personal comic that I want to work on. I was thinking that maybe I could start up Patreon again to post my story stuff on there and kind of my process. I thought that might be an interesting idea. But I don't know. I use, you know, one of my major problems is, oh my god, I'm on the wrong side. There we go. That's why I couldn't see anything. Let me zoom in here. This shows my inexperience with filming right here. Okay, take two. One of my biggest problems is that I do have a lot of social anxiety, and for a while I was off of social media, and I kind of just said like that I don't like social media and I don't like the algorithms, and I think that it's damaging, and I think that it's stupid, and I do have those opinions, but I think that that is a like really good rational reason to not use social media if you find it scary, which I do. I get kind of like a flavor of social anxiety that kind of applies to online. So I avoid posting online a lot, and I don't know, I think like, you know, if I want to be an artist and I want to publish things and I want to share things at some point, you know, I'm going to need to kind of deal with that feeling. So I'm trying to share more, which is uncomfortable, and, you know, take some effort. Like, this is kind of like a ramble video. It's not edited or anything, which is easier for me. So, like, the less work it is, you know, I can just throw it up and maybe not think about it so much. I think kind of like removes a little bit of that barrier. But yeah, like going into kind of working again, like I want to work on my comic, and I'd like to post sort of like my mistakes and my process with kind of creating a story. And then I also want to do a Brandon Sanderson fan art series, which I had wanted to do before I moved, and then I sort of disappeared and wasn't able to work on that for a while. And then I want to continue working on the comic that I'm doing. My dog is barking. With Kelly. And, you know, be a bit more kind of like present with posting my stuff up online. And showing you guys the stuff that I'm doing. So, Patreon is kind of an interesting idea. I think like a lot of people, I have a lot of guilt surrounding Patreon. Anytime I ask for money, it always, I think the imposter syndrome kicks in big time. And so that's kind of like another just like mental block that I need to sort of think about. And yeah, kind of, you know, navigating my nervousness about sharing my art online with like the need to do it, because I do think that like art is communication. Art requires both parties. I don't just make art for myself, I want to share it. So that's kind of like the journey that I'm on. So this is day 2. So like my kids started school yesterday. And so this is really the first, I want to put can I put a flower in her hair? Maybe if I do like a little lavender. Like this maybe. This is day 2 of me kind of like officially being at work. And most of it has just been logistics stuff, so I need to reopen my online shop, and a lot of my printing supplies are still in boxes, so I'm kind of still unpacking and figuring that stuff out. I also actually have a logo to start doing this week, which is great news. But I haven't set up a lot of kind of the online revenue stuff. Like YouTube, this is probably like the closest that I've gotten. So I need to set up the Patreon, reopen my shops. I have sort of like a social media list. So I am on ArtStation, I am on most of the main ones, but I'm not on TikTok, and I never will be. So don't try to find me on there. But what do I want to do with it? Maybe just do a little portrait. I think maybe that'll be it. I'm getting distracted by drawing now. Talking and drawing is a little tricky. That might be another thing I'm going to have to get used to. But the 2 comics that I'm working on, the comic that I'm doing for Kelly is pretty picked together. I can't post that very much online though, which is kind of a bummer, but I understand why, because we want it to be kind of like traditionally published, and it's tough to submit stuff if you're throwing it up everywhere for free. But my comic, I'm not represented. It's just me. So I don't have a clear plan as to how I want to publish my comic. I don't think that I'm really thinking about it as like a possible like revenue stream. I think I'm thinking of it as just something that I want to do because I want to do it. So when it's done, I'll submit it, but like if it doesn't get picked up, then I'll just put it out myself. That's kind of how I feel about it. Writing it's kind of the thing right now. I don't like what I just did there. That was a mistake. It's too dark. That's okay. She's kind of missing something. Maybe she needs like, I'll balance out the dark by having her do a little braid down here. And it's just a little sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just a little warm-up sketch. These things are great. I haven't used this in a while either. I'm so out of practice. I'm just kind of getting back into it. But hopefully with my kids both being full-time in school right now, I'll be able to make more art. Maybe she's going to have some flowers on her. I'm not sure. For no reason. But yeah, anyway. I want to post the comic process up online somewhere. I am posting more to Instagram. Probably the next 2 paintings I'm going to be doing are actually of my kids. I have a couple of illustrations that are just sort of like slice of life stuff. So the one I'm working on right now is just it's a Halloween one, which I guess is well timed. And then the I'm trying to think of what else I want to do on here. And then after that, I may do another Sanderson fan art piece. I'm still working through Elantris. And I have a second one that I want to post of that. So that might be the next one. Anyway, just kind of a rambly intro video. And then hopefully I can post a few more of these up as I kind of do my sketching. All right.